Well, I sent a letter to Sylvie at the Franchise Tax Board.
Oh, that's
and
right.
We gave her a letter to answer, and then I served it on her because she'd never answer it. And so then she turned around and she turned it over to Tax Advocate to answer me. And so he called me, and I called him back, and he said, "Well, I'll get a letter out to you."
Well, what was the letter? Basically, what was the letter we see? We're skipping a whole bunch of spots.
Right.
We have 5 hours to kill. What was basically the letter that we sent to Sylvia? Honestly, I don't really remember. We're all the same. I mean, my stuff always basically reads the same, but what was the letter that basically?
Asking her if the plaintiff would appear, basically, that kind of stuff. I don't have it in front of me right now.
Well, you can take your time because, like I said, Bali was with me the day I wrote to you back in December, like December 10th. And I said, this poor guy, Bill, he keeps sending me letters back and forth to me. And it's always filled with either extortion or communicating threats. And I said, he's going to get himself in trouble. He's a real nice guy, real mellow. He's got a nice golden retriever or something, you know, a golden lab or something like that. And I was like, you know what, he's a real nice guy. But the letters are very threatening, and he could get himself in a lot of trouble if he sends it out the way he wrote it. So I've been trying to talk to him for, I don't know, February last year. And I said to Bali, it's December, and it ain't getting any better, his letters. And I said, Bali, give me a couple of minutes. Let me pump out a letter to him real quick, and then we'll get on your car and go wherever we had to go that night. I said, but I got to cut this guy, you know, I got to cut this guy some slack and just say, you know what, run with this letter.
Right. Well, I got it in front of me now, and it says, do you believe I owe a debt? And do you or the Executive Tax Board or Franchise Tax Board here accuse I, a man, of a wrong for a failure to pay on a lawful debt?
Okay.
Do you or the Franchise Tax Board wish to settle this matter on the private side? And do you or the Franchise Tax Board wish to move a claim into a court of law? And so...
It's pretty simple.
Yep.
Like I said, I just did that real quick, and I was with Bali one night. I was like, you know what, because your stuff just still sounded very threatening, and did not sound very, it sounded like desperate. It didn't sound like you were coming from a point of a position of power or authority.
Okay.
You know, it sounded like you were begging to them or you know, it's when you have to make a threat. To me, that means that you're out of control. Sure. If it sounds like you're threatening, it's like, well, are you threatening me? Oh, you got to do it. Oh, really? Well, what? You better be able to fill in the old what when you communicate a threat to a government agent, and you ain't got nothing that they're scared of. Believe me. So you better not communicate a threat with any government agent. You better be sweet as pie and just say, look, I'm a man. Do you believe I've done wrong? You do know you are talking to a man. You do understand that. You're not talking to Coca-Cola. You're not talking Pepsi. You're not talking to somebody who's chartered and under your control and under your jurisdiction and authority. You do know that, right? You do know you're talking to a man. You do know a man did create you. You do know that, right? Good. So, how do you want to settle this? I want to settle this amicably. I want to settle this and keep this the paper world, the second dimension, the code world in one piece because I like the code world. I like the second dimension. I like what you people do. But now you're trespassing and now you're causing me harm and I'm going to require you to back off. That's it. But anything else I could assist you with, let me know. And it's very simple, very nice, very pleasant, very boom, 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 boom. And I haven't said a damn thing different in over 110 shows. I have no idea why I'm doing this again on a 110 show. No idea. No idea. The story hasn't changed, not one iota. People go back and listen to my stuff on my shows and then other people's shows and people back on Angela's shows and the shows before I did on Angela's shows with other people on restoring the Republic shows. And they were like, Karl stuff hasn't changed in all these years. No, Karl stuff he still says the same over and over and over. That's right. You know, like I said, thank God my mom was a federal agent and my Uncle's way up there in banking. He's about as high as you could possibly go. And they're nice, decent people. And they'll give you the shirts off their back. And when they did this Occupy Wall Street, some of the kids went up to Connecticut, to like Greenwich, Connecticut, and occupied the bankers' homes and occupied the front lawns and stuff. And the presidents of the bank came out and made barbecues with the kids and gave them lemonade and soda pop and said, the kids were like, holy shit, you're just normal people like my mom and dad. Yeah, we're just normal effing people. We just do our job and go home. We don't worship reptoids. We have no idea what naughty is. We like the Tom Hanks movies as much as the next guy, but you know what? Honestly, we don't know what the hell's going on. We just do it for a paycheck. My uncle did it coming through the ranks of being a bank teller. There was no special indoctrination for him when he became the president of a bank. I talked to him a couple of years ago. He says, I got no idea what you crazy guys are going on about. Not a clue. He says, the paperwork comes across my desk. I make sure all the boxes are filled in. I see that everything's filled in. Everything reads proper, and I stamp it, put the seal of the bank on it, and hand it over to the legal department. What they do for it with it. So I couldn't care less. I go home and eat some Scooby snacks and watch a basketball game like a normal guy. You don't pray to no reptoids.
But this is the other thing. Like I was saying, when I first had that problem with angry people and the way that they were treating other people or even me, and I just can't understand the mentality, which person brought them up to think that you can be horrible to somebody to get something. That doesn't even happen in a playground. If it does, nobody talks to that kid. It's the simplest thing in the world. You want something, you be nice to them, and then you get it. But that just seems to be missing in quite a few people I've come across.
Oh, yeah. Like I said to people, like the way Bill wrote that letter, well, the way the letter's written, it looks very non-threatening. It looks like I'm going to kill you with kindness. You're not going to be able to send the goon squad after me because when they read this letter, just like when the U.S. Marshals summons me to appear before them a couple of years ago, I said to them, they said, before I even filed a claim in the U.S. court, I said to them, you guys better read this. I was like, what? So they read it. Like, there's nothing in here. There's like 2-3 sentences done. Claim of wrong trespass, see Exhibit A. Use the forged instrument to trespass and remove my property, see Exhibit A. Okay, claim a whole bunch of money, yeah, whoopie-doo. And, okay. I said, look, this isn't whoopie-doo. You're going to get a call from the court, and they're going to tell you to haul my ass in. He said, sir, I don't see anything here in this lawsuit. He said, there's nothing here threatening. Just file it upstairs with everybody else, and, it's almost 5 o'clock. We're going home. And 6 weeks later, they're looking all over for me. Says, we want you here and we want you here now. The court's scared shitless of you. Get down here. You communicate. This ain't a threat. Read it. Well, we need you down here and explain what you're doing. I said, okay. And 3 days later, I appeared. And very simple. I said to them, what sounds threatening? They said, it doesn't sound threatening to us. I said, I'm killing them with kindness. That's what I'm doing. And they can't stand it. Because they're used to people being morons and adding more and more onto this nonsense that's needed. And I'm not doing it. I'm not playing that game. And they realize this guy's not playing this game. He's not using the Constitution. He's not using the Bible. He's not using any of our codes. He's not using... No. He's being like God. God says, thou shalt not kill. There you go. Thou shalt not kill. 4 words, done. I'm acting as a creator. That's it. You done me wrong. Pay. That's it. That's all you wrote. That's all I wrote. That's all that's necessary. I don't need to write anymore. They know what they did. Pay. Pay up for the wrong. Pay up for the trespass. Pay up for the debt. Pay. And they don't want to pay. So there you go. That's why they're so scared. Because they don't want to pay. Because they know I'm correct. And they know they've done wrong. And so they're going to send the goon squad after me, trying to convince you guys that I'm a threat. I was like, there's nothing threatening here on the paper to us. This looks like simple, like Fred Flintstone, Tarzan talking. Like, yeah, basically simple. How could this be received as a threat? I said, except that they know exactly what I did, and they're scared out of their minds. So like, oh, wow, this is like really simple. I said, yes, it's too simple. And thank God the U.S. Marshal said to me, he said, well, you know what? If you could help people get back their children, Can you try to help little old ladies stay in their homes? Because we really hate having dragged little old ladies out of their homes because the banks all closed on them, whatever. And that's the worst part of our job is we got to go up in these mountains where we live, and we see these people all the time, and we got to throw these women out of their homes. Is there some way you could try to help these old ladies deal with foreclosures and banks? I said, sir, I'm just one guy. I said, I'm just trying to take on children right now, but I'll see what I can do. You know? So like I said, they're not bad people, U.S. Marshals. They're not bad guys. They don't want to take the little old ladies out of their homes either, but they don't know what to do. So I'm trying to teach people what to do. It's like, now I see what Karl's doing. Oh, now we see. So hopefully even the U.S. Marshals who are listening, good evening, guys, will be able to help little old ladies. Listen to our stuff and help little old ladies out.